Welcome back to Predatory Fins. Today's video, actually tonight, it's already nighttime as always. We're always here working late because that's what we do, right babe?
Right.
So Lisa's not feeling very good, so I'm gonna try to do this very quick because her leg hurts today. What we're gonna do right now is we're going to move this fish right here. This is by far one of my favorite fish. It's called a Nile Perch. And I rescued him when he was a little smaller, actually a lot smaller. And right now he's a good 16 inches or maybe even more. When you pull him out of the water, they're a lot bigger. And the reason why we're gonna move him, he's big enough to go in the big tank. And also, the other day I was working late and I literally just walked by here and this guy turned around and swallowed this one right here. One of my favorite Bracapondo peacocks. He literally swallowed him almost whole. And I had to like get in the tank, start chasing him around until he finally spit it out. I never seen a fish that could swallow, besides an arapaima. And some girls out there. But
boy, swallow food. Food, we're talking about food.
The Nile Perch, for most of you, or for some of you that don't know, this is the biggest perch in the world. Okay, they come from the Nile River, the Congo area. There's even reports of them and reports is right? Reports, right?
What?
Reports?
Reports?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. Egypt. So these guys are crazy predators. They call it like the African barramundi or the Nile barramundi, but they are freshwater and they don't have a lot of predators because they get to, I think the biggest one ever caught was like 6-7 foot, 440 pounds. Can you imagine a fish 440 pounds? I'm 225 pounds. So double, right?
Yeah.
Can you imagine double meat on a fish? That's a big fish. I don't know of any reports of him swallowing children or anything like that or pets, but I'm sure if somebody has like a little dog in the Congo, I mean, why would you bring a dog for the Congo River? I don't know, but this guy could definitely eat it, no problem. Maybe not this size, at a bigger size, but that's not a fish you want to joke around with. It's definitely a predator. And the cool thing is when the light's off and you have a flashlight, their eyes are like red, or like a predator. Really cool, amazing species. If you zoom in, you can see the scales are so small. And it's like a grayish silver fish.
Oh, now it's sharp.
But the mouth on this guy, you know, it's kind of have like a face. Like, it does look like a barramundi, but also what was the other? Snook. That's what I was trying to say. It looks like a snook, and just like any other perch, the mouth protrudes open and just swallows the prey whole. I sound very smart today, huh? I'm excited. All right, so there's a lot of fish in here. We have to. Some of the yellow gars are going soon to their buyer. Platinum red tail, but I also want to make more space and make sure that Bracapondo doesn't get eaten again because he's got one of the best patterns that I've seen and he came in very skinny, so I'm power feeding them. Besides that, this tank is doing great. I just have to get this guy out of there. But what I like to do before I move any fish into the big tank is to make sure these guys are fed so they don't think this fish is food. Even though there's no fish in there that could swallow him, these arapaimas are no joke. They could literally just keep chasing it until the fish gets tired and die. Plus we haven't fed him in a few days, so I want to make sure that we go ahead and feed him. Their scale feels so weird. You know what's really weird? When you go, with the scale, it's very smooth, but when you go against the scale, it's kind of like it lifts it up a little bit. It's kind of like you're pulling the scale off. Crazy patterns on this guy. And as you can see, both of them look different. So I don't know if it's two different species or if it's a male and a female. I have no idea. About a month ago, they were fighting like crazy in here. They were chasing each other, driving this whole tank crazy. I was so scared that they would jump out. Actually, this one, the big one there was chasing this one. Actually, they're both around the same size. And I didn't want to go home because I was afraid that something would happen. This gnat was on that side and she chased, she chased him so much that he jumped up. You can see the crack right there on that wood. he landed right there and fell back inside. And I was here by myself the whole time. So every time that she got close to him, I would come here and try to get her attention. Finally, 2 days after, it stopped. So I don't know if they're trying to breed or what the heck was going on. But if you look at these guys real quick, babe, right here on the left, they look like the Nile Perch, but these are the barramundi. One of the ways you can tell is by that white stripe right here on his head on the left. See? A vertical stripe on the left, on the vertical stripe on the head. The other guy, he's not showing much right now of his stripe, but they do have that. And their face looks different than the Nile Perch. Very, very similar fish, but two different species. The barramundi comes from Australia. The Nile Perch comes from Africa. So enough of talking. You want to feed these guys first so they don't think that the Nile Perch is food, and I have to go and try to get the Nile Perch as well. Ready?
Ready.
Let's do it. All right, so we already have the food already prepped. As you can see, we have a monster cooler for Monster Fish. Really cool, right? Right here, we have smelts, and we also have shrimp and tilapia. Now, the shrimp, I'm gonna leave for other fish and the stingrays over there. What I want to do though is treat the shrimp. We have a little blend, per se, that Kevin and I put together to treat fish of any parasites and bacteria and stuff like that. But we like to treat once in a while just to make sure that they're healthy. We don't do it all the time unless we do the same treatment for when the fish come from the wild. We don't like to show because, of course, you don't want to tell your secrets to everybody. But there is a mix that we like to do. Sometimes, as you can see, this fish right here, it's all deheaded and there's no guts. So you can put the powder in there, or we mix it with the water and inject on the meat of the fish itself. No need to do this stink. Everybody's doing great. The stingrays, I like to do it once in a while. So we're gonna go ahead and feed these guys in order to be able to move the Nile Perch. We got the smelts. Their palmas already. I'm telling you, these guys are already good, pretty close to 6 foot. You shouldn't be afraid. You should be used to this. But let's go ahead and feed everybody. Oh, arowana missed. Let's just let everybody get a little share of it. And then my beauty over here. So I'm gonna power feed them just to make sure that they do leave the the Nile Perch alone. There's enough food here to last 2 hours in their belly. Now, I do have a lot of requests of people wanting to know what is the food bill just on this tank right here. I would say if we want to feed them very well, this is about $1,000 a month to feed this and that tank every month. Gone. So they're having their dinner and lunch at the same time. Let them get pretty fat and big. And guys, make sure, again, when you move your fish, don't feed them for a good 2 days before you move them out. I don't think this is gonna be an easy task. I hope that, yeah, he's pretty smart. No wonder why these things get so big, because they're very smart predators. They don't really have a lot of either fish, or I think the only thing that can really eat a Nile Perch is a Nile crocodile. Especially when they're that big. Where do you go? It's all the way down there, right? Yep. Man, this is gonna be harder than I thought. The Dorado is gonna be the next one. He's not big enough yet. He's gotta put a little more meat on him. But see, look, he sees me coming, he's already going the other way. So I wanna try to like get him right there on that edge. Yeah, as long as I can keep him on that side. Oh, man. This is gonna be like an impossible mission. But I don't quit easy. Right, babe?
Right.
Yeah, I've been with you for 8 years. I don't quit that easy. You're kind of like a Nile Perch. Oh, man, what a job that was. I think he's gonna be fine in there. Nobody's messing with him. Just cruising. What do you think? He's almost the size of the barramundi, right?
Yeah.
Ah, you're soaked too. Yep. Watch out, because it's slippery. Well, he's done. Let's go ahead and feed this tank now that since he's not here. And then we throw a little bit more food for him. But I'm gonna let you guys go. Oh, I'm tired. I got soaked. I'm holding this like it's a metal.